Welcome to Talking Again podcast. This is The Tap. I am your host, Fidel Avendaño. Thank you for tuning in to the podcast with stories from fascinating people, some of them my closest friends and family. I hope you enjoy the show. Now let's tap into it. What's up, everybody? This is Fidel from Talking Again podcast. I am here today with the host of MegaMan podcast, MegaMan himself, Steven Martinez. And my special guest over here to his left is Drisco Kid, also known as Christopher Robin.
Drisco.
Or Drisco, sorry. I was trying to play off of that, also known as, because that's your real name.
Absolutely.
But do you have a middle name?
Anthony.
Oh, dude. Okay. Here's the thing. I've been listening to talk radio for years, bro. Years. Okay, ever since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reporter on NPR, and he's also, I think he does like sports stuff, but he's Stephen A. Martinez. You know who he is?
Fuck no.
That's not you, right?
No, that's not me. But I heard the name. What was it? Is it on ESPN?
He's on NPR radio, and I think he's on AM radio.
Okay.
But his name's Stephen A. Martinez.
I guess I'll ask Beto then.
You can. Hey, that's name drop one right there.
I know, it's okay.
You got
Beto Duran.
Beto Duran.
That's number 2.
He knows him, I'm sure. He's worked with him before. But that's Stephen A. Martinez right there. Stephen
Wow.
A.
Nice.
But you're not Steve. You're Stephen A. But you're known as MegaMan.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start off. First of all, well, you know what? I should say thank you for coming on the show.
Awesome, man. It's a pleasure. If it wasn't for a Drisco Kid doing the live and you coming on, we wouldn't be here talking right now, dude.
Yeah,
it was just the right timing.
It was kind of, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Right timing.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I'm a baseball coach, right? And I say that all the time. Everything's about timing. Mm-hmm. All timing. Today we came in here early we've been here almost 3 hours, guys.
I
don't know if you guys noticed, but we've been here about 3 hours.
The beers are gone. I had a whole bunch of beers are gone.
They're gone. We don't have anything to display anymore. But we had menudo, we had beer, we've been hanging out, and now we're getting that podcast started. So
yeah, we're warmed up.
Thanks a lot again. And then
yeah.
Drisco, thanks for coming in and co-hosting here.
No, absolutely. I'm honored. Honored. This is a really good, exciting time.
Yeah.
Especially being here, witnessing it unfold in real time.
Yeah, better than being a fly on the wall, right?
Guaranteed.
Now you're someone on the table.
Yeah. in the king's throne.
In the king. Oh yeah, right. The king's throne. I wanted to start off first of all by asking you is how you got the name MegaMan podcast.
The MegaMan, that was my favorite video game and stuff. And I was like, man, what kind of podcast name I should come up with? Well, what was my favorite video game, and it was the MegaMan. I used to play Final Fantasy, Super Mario 3, then 2, then MegaMan. And I was playing it on Nintendo. And I remember the old school Nintendo where when you put it on pause, it would save it for 24 hours. It would just be pausing. You wake up in the morning, take a nap for a couple hours, you go and play again.
Yeah.
Until my mom fucked it up. She just turned it off. I'm like, no, I was on the last level. I put it on pause because the code's like ABB select, ABB, like whatever. She's like, you just killed my last level.
Yeah.
And so ever since then, I've been playing Mega Man 1, 2, 3, 4. So that to me is my all-time favorite video game.
Do you still game right now? Like today?
Xbox One.
You still play?
I have the greatest hits. I still play it to this day.
But do you geek out like like these kids are playing online and all that?
The Call of Duty and all that? No, I'm old school.
Fortnite and all that?
I'm old school.
Little kids, right?
I'm old school, dude.
Do you how bad do you miss just your 2 buttons, A and B?
I missed it, man.
You know what I mean? Like,
I still have the original Power Glove.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh shit! No way.
I have 2 of them, 2 unopened.
Yeah.
I have 2 of them. Remember you get the Nintendo and it comes with the package. You get the Duck Hunt and you get the Track and Field.
Yeah.
I have that pad.
Yeah. I
still have it still. And people like, I used to draw like, what are you doing? And a certain people say, this is how you cheat. You just press a certain button to the front a little bit more and you're running faster.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck you, dude.
I remember being on my hands and knees playing that fucking game, dude.
Yeah,
that's deep.
Cheating.
And you know why? Because I bought the glove because I saw that movie with Fred Savage called The Wizard.
Dude,
yes.
my wife and I were just talking about that movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I had said it was like the monsters, the little monsters, but I think he did a movie called The Monsters too. But it was
Monsters,
actually the Wizard.
It was called what was it? Was Fred Savage correct?
Yes.
Monsters, yeah.
No, it wasn't called Monsters.
Yeah, it was Little Monsters.
Little Monsters.
There
Little
you go.
Monsters.
And also the kid who was a whiz who's playing video games, he was in another movie. He was a manager called Little Big Leagues. He's the Minnesota Twins manager.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's him.
Oh, okay.
That's in The Wizard.
Yeah.
And you had Paul Walker in there.
Yeah.
And you had Jerry Maguire.
Dang.
Oh.
Was it the guy from Spider-Man?
Jerry.
No,
Jerry Maguire.
Toby.
Toby
Maguire
Tobey
and
Maguire.
Paul Walker was in that.
What the hell? That's old school, dude.
Yeah, that movie was good. I was like, Super Mario 3 is like, oh shit.
We got to go back and watch that movie now.
Yeah, it was a good
That's so
fucking
dope.
movie.
How old are your kids?
I have 4 kids. One's 21, one's 14, and the other one's gonna be 4, and the other one's 9 months.
21. That means you had your kid at what 18, 19, 20 when you had your kid?
My early 20s.
You were a baby when you had a baby.
Yeah.
One of the statistics that they say the babies having babies.
Yeah, my pullout game was whack. I don't know. Like, hey, what's this? But it feels so good. What's that sensation? It's like, there we go.
How hard was it for you? Oh, I know. The angle I asked you about the kids was, do you feel like you're trying to get back to having your kids watch those old school movies that you fell in love with?
They don't like that shit, dude.
But have you tried?
I tried to. They just don't like it, dude.
Yeah, it's hard to get them.
This-
They're
wow.
so. You know why, Drisco?
Yes.
I know it's hard. I keep going like this.
Yeah.
But you know, it's hard because, it's all slow. Like we were used to a slow paced movie, reading the story, learning about the story, the backstory. Now it's all quick. They give you everything with the friend. We talked about that. The first 15 minutes, they give you everything. Otherwise, they lose you.
They lose you.
And that's what it is. And before we used to have to put in work just to watch a movie. You had to put in work.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember the Family Film Festival when they would air Spider-Man. It would take him maybe segments of 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there, just to turn into Spider-Man. You know,
Right.
And I'd be like, man, when is he going to turn Spider-Man? When is he going to turn Spider-Man? And same thing with the Incredible Hulk with Lou Ferrigno and Bill Bixby. Same thing, but he would always turn in, and that, you know, I like that. But you're right. It was character development back then and story development. And now I believe the reason why that's the case is because everyone knows about these pre-existing stories, that they would have to go ahead and just implement a very good push of immediate, you know, transfer of excitement.
Well, it's that short attention span that they've developed.
telling you, man.
These kids, you know, or they haven't developed the long attention span, or the normal one, I should say.
Me and my kids were watching that movie with Jim Carrey. Who, you know, he get bit by a vampire. That girl.
Oh yeah, Bitten.
Once
It's
Bitten.
called Bitten.
Once Bitten.
Yeah. Oh, Once Bitten. Yeah.
And the black guy who was in it, he was the guy from Blazing Saddles.
Yes.
And he's like, I don't like this movie. Like, this is a good movie.
Yeah.
He's like, don't forget your drink, and he's drinking like a meat drink with a liquid.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, dude. And in the end, like those two guys were like, hey, what are we gonna do? And the girls took off their clothes like all naked. It's like, dude, 80s were so bad. They had some bomb chichis, dude.
Hey, you know what? I don't know if it was the bomb chichis or not, but I think it was just that we were so secluded, or we just weren't able to see that stuff, and we didn't see it often. That when we did, we were like, "What?"
Yes,
You know what I mean? Like-
we always had that friend
Yeah.
that had the sleepover that had all the movies: Porky's Revenge, Revenge of the Nerds, Sleepaway Camp, a little bit of horror. You know
Any
what I
little
mean?
lipple, any little bushy coochie, dude.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. When we saw that, the yeah, that was a whole different story. That was when the Scramble on TV, when I used to see the bushy one.
You mean the Spice Channel?
Oh yeah.
The Scramble Spice.
Yeah, Scramble Spice.
One time, I prayed to God. I said, God, I'll do anything. I'll go to church, whatever. Please put on Spice Channel. It was all blurry.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like 10 minutes later, it came on. I was like, thank you.
Did you go to church after that?
No. And I was like looking at it like, because my parents were sleeping and they come whatever. It's like, oh my God, that's a dick.
Yeah.
Because he used to show that soft porn Cinemax shit.
Yeah.
When he saw a dick, like, oh fuck. I was like, oh damn, dude. I was watching like.
Yeah.
Looking around, dude. It was like, because the only thing closest to that was like on Cinemax called Real Sex.
Yeah.
We used to watch that shit too. It was like, oh fuck.
Wow, that's an ancient show, dude.
That's a relationship, dude. That's a lot. Oh man, dude, when you watch that shit now, when you have in your relationship, like, man, you're like, man, I thought my lady's kinky. I was like, what the fuck?
There's
dude?
some stuff that they share that's like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't even know what swingers were. It's like, yeah, it's an open relationship. Yeah, I love my husband, but I'll fuck other guys.
Well, when you said that there was a bunch of swingers, like you started talking about like, the West Covina, and you started naming some cities. I'm like, well, what kind of shit are you into that?
Well, back in the day when MegaMan was single, man, I used to be one of those bulls. You know what a bull is, right?
No, what's a bull?
A bull is, like if a guy is married to a wife, whatever, and the guy says to you, hey man, you want to come over and fuck my wife? Like, what do you mean? Like, I want a bull like you, just to cream pie her and get her pregnant.
What the fuck, dude? People are into that shit.
Yeah, they just because they're sissy boys.
Yeah.
So they want like an alpha male to like have a breed with his wife, whatever.
So were you an alpha male?
Yeah.
You were the alpha male.
I was more like the alpha male.
You went in there and just fucking yeah, I'll do that. Whatever.
There's a couple videotapes out there, but I don't know.
Are you afraid of that? Because now you're like you're up there. You're starting to get out known and realize that people can start hashtagging MegaMan porn.
That was back in the day, but hey, if it boosts my numbers, fuck it. But that's how these guys boost your numbers. Gotta get your name out there. Dog.
You know, I've always said that if you've thought about it, that it's been done once or twice already.
Mm-hmm.
You guarantee it,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
If you've thought about it, it's been done once or twice.
Yeah, but it's creepy with the guys like, dude, I don't want to. Yeah, because you know, we'll talk you some stuff off air, but there's some creepy shit like out there with those, with AK for my wife, but there's something in return. Like, no, I'm not. You're not sucking my dick off. So fuck that. Fuck that.
That's heavy. That's heavy.
That's heavy.
I thought they would just hang out in the background and just,
sit in the lounge chair,
hands in the pants.
One time I hooked up with some guy's wife, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be over here inside the closet pretending like I'm creeping. I'm spying on her."
Yeah.
It was weird.
Wait, so all right. Let's rewind a little bit. Let's rewind a little bit.
All right.
So when you would get onto these sites and you go, do you look for that, or is that you get messages?
So what at the time
you get a proposal and you're like, all right, I'm gonna do it.
So at the time, when Craigslist was popping, like left and right, I was going to these websites, like Plenty of Fish, Tinder, Facebook, Messenger, like Instagram and all that. I was like just hooking up because at the time, me and my ex, we split up, and I was an info. Yeah. I was just hooking up with girls left and right. Always
making up for lost time.
I used to hook up with a lot of girls from Whittier.
Yeah.
Oh my God! When he said, "What's the thing? What's the slang for Whittier?"
Oh shit! I heard this before.
Whittier, the girls are more prettier than Whittier.
The girls are prettier.
Oh my God, dude! There were like so much, and I used to hook up. I used to go there every fucking weekend, dude.
Yeah.
And hooking up with girls, like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm fucking you. And there's like a celebrity I won't mention, but I'll tell you off air. I hooked up with her. I was like, I can't. Oh, I wish that girl has herpes.
Okay. What? No,
Yeah.
she just does the commercials.
No, she has herpes for us.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Well, if you know firsthand, I mean, I can't.
Well, yeah, she talks about it.
Does she really? I don't know.
Yeah,
much. I just
she
threw it
got
out there
herpes.
like I thought I knew.
She got herpes by Derek Jeter.
Shut the fuck up. Are you serious?
Yeah. You didn't know about that?
No, I didn't know about that.
No, she gave her. Derek Jeter had herpes, giving herpes to everyone. Probably Mariah Carey too.
Shut the. Okay, now I gotta research some shit.
Wow.
I got
Party favors given for free.
You know,
I like his eyes.
I heard of him giving away gift bags. When these girls leave their house or his apartment, but not fucking herpes.
Probably Cameron Diaz too.
Jesus.
She's from Long Beach back in the day.
Yeah. I actually helped her when I was working at Whole Foods.
Oh, really?
Are you serious? Her mother used to shop at my store over there at Sprouts Market over there in Seal Beach. Her mom used to live in Los Alamitos, and she used to come over there.
Yep.
Oh my God! You ever saw Waldo Finaldo from Family Matter? He was always over there. MegaMan, what's up?
What the fuck ever happened?
Do you watch sports?
Yeah.
You watch basketball?
Yeah.
There's a basketball player named Cherokee Parks. Does that ring a bell?
No.
He was a basketball player for the Timberwolves, and he used to shop at our store too.
Okay.
Yeah, but Waldo Finaldo was like so nice, dude.
I don't know Cherry Parks, right? Sports guy, but I know Waldo for what is it?
Family Matter.
Yeah.
Waldo what?
It's the friend of his brother.
I remember him, but what was it they called him?
Waldo Finaldo.
Waldo Fernando?
Waldo Finaldo. What's up, Waldo?
Finaldo.
What up, dog?
Yeah, I remember that dude.
He's so nice, man.
Yeah.
You meet a lot of celebrities over there in Seal Beach, but when I got transferred, now I'm over here working with like celebrities who are tweakers.
No. What kind of tweakers?
Anything, man. They're like zombies from The Walking Dead.
That's crazy as fuck, dude.
I can't fucking.
Tell you, man, that transition's just going on.
Which one? The
whole
tweaker to the tweaker to zombie?
Dude.
Do you fear for that? I fear for that shit. I think it's possible.
Yeah.
It's extremely possible.
With the right drug? You can get a bunch of people walking around here zombie-like and shit.
Like everything that's happened yet since 2020, anything could happen.
It's crazy, right?
Imagine seeing a zombie girl like your ex and like, but I always wanted you.
I'm good, man. I my ex is like goes back to like 99, bro. So I've been with the same girl since 99. So
oh, for real?
Yeah,
that's good.
Oh,
I'm good, dude.
So you love having steaks and eggs forever, huh?
Yeah, I'm good.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, steaks and eggs is like, basically say, MegaMan, are you willing to have steaks and eggs forever? Like what? One vagina for life? I was like, of course. Just chop it up, put palita, put some scrambled like weenies, tapatio.
Tajin.
You got to mix it up, dude.
Yeah.
You got to mix it up. You got to add additional flavoring.
Exactly.
What kind of flavoring?
Ooh.
Lemon juice?
Well, you're the spice expert over there. What's up? What kind of What kind of flavors should we be adding to this?
Well, depending on what flavor is your choice of the morning.
Depending on the mood, huh?
Absolutely. You can specifically tailor your tasting to your given mood.
Yeah.
You could be spicy one day, savory another,
Smoky the next.
Smoky, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you could take it to the next level, depending of your partner's creativity as well.
Yeah.
Because when you get some positive feedback, like, hey, you know what, let's try this next time.
Yeah.
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 And don't let me get in the category of ice cream.
Oh shit.
Sherbert.
As long as you don't get into the Betty White category, we're good.
Oh my God.
Wow. Hey, dude. Hey, that girl was hot.
Which
man.
one from the Golden Girls?
Betty all the way.
Betty was that wholesome one though. You know that the naive. You know, you could pull a quick one around her, but everybody wanted Blanche.
No.
Everybody wanted Blanche.
Okay, Blanche. I could be like, okay, a one and done kind of thing. Because she's a one and done kind of.
Who's the one? Who's the one with the manly
This was
voice?
looking to marry somebody. That's
What's
why.
that? What?
That's why you're looking to marry someone. That's why.
Yeah.
Thank you for being my friend.
Hey man, Golden Girls. There's a lot of knowledge and wisdom.
Hell yeah, you
from
learned a lot
women.
from that show.
I'm
No,
telling
just
you,
from that show alone.
Yes,
Yeah.
dude, you learn a lot.
Yeah.
And then you gotta love that guy Stan, dude. Stan.
Oh
Stan,
my
dude.
God.
Dude, there's so much, bro. I'm telling you, man. Golden Girls is brilliant, and it will go on forever.
Yeah.
Like, there'll be one TV left playing all the episodes of Golden Girls when all humanity is gone and over with, and this intelligent life form is like zooming in, like this is the only thing that's given a signal.
Yeah.
No life force is there, but just perpetual Golden Girl episodes.
Nice.
And I think
I'm
that's,
comfortable with that.
yeah, I
I'm
think that's a
comfortable with
good
the
that's a
new-
good
yeah.
ending of a movie.
Yeah.
Golden
like it.
Girls and I Love Lucy.
That's another one. I Love Lucy.
Or maybe Growing Pains.
I thought I had an I Love Lucy poster up here, but maybe it's over there by Drisco. Yeah, dude. Would you say Growing Pains?
Yeah.
That's another one.
Yeah.
Growing Pains was really good.
I used to love that Tracy
Yeah.
Goat until she got a DUI. She was like, ooh. She got her drunk and shit like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good show. Or
Good.
Mr. Belvedere.
Mr. Belvedere was
Belvedere.
good. Well, we just Family Matters was a great show. I grew up on Family Matters. I learned a lot of life lessons on
Step
Family
by
Matters.
step.
Step by step.
Step
Because
by step.
Fresh Prince, all of those,
Oh
man.
my
That's
God.
that's the kind of shit that we grew up
Hey
with.
man, I was raised with the Cosby Show. I was raised with Good Times. I was raised with,
Molly drops.
dude, a lot of good stuff, man.
Different world.
Yeah.
Different world, absolutely.
That's a good one.
I mean, there was a lot of good shows that had a lot of good underpinnings, and I was really enjoying those lessons that were learned. Just remember. Do you remember the after school specials?
No. Wait, which one?
The after school specials had a little gumball machine and everything. It'd be like little short stories of having a girl or a guy being tempted to have a joint.
Yeah.
Nice.
Uh-huh. I
Have you
remember.
noticed that they were consistent with the after school specials?
Mhm.
The moment they stopped it, drug use was just like, hey, I
Yeah.
think what it was, people were like, hey, you know what? They're not buying our drugs that we're bringing from other countries. We need to stop this campaign of anti-drug and just let it go because we're losing money.
Yeah.
And I do believe the way this structure of propaganda is going on, I think that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
You remove a program that projects positive information to get like anti-drug use and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You remove it, floodgates are open.
Yeah.
They removed it.
Well, it's like the Dare program. You know, what I mean? That
Yeah.
was big time. They were pushing the whole Dare program, and
Mhm.
then, all they were doing was, to me, educating kids about drugs
Yep.
and what I could get off of it.
Yep.
And then what do you want to do is you always want to go against the grain when you're
challenging.
9, 10, 11, 12 years old. You want to go against the grain.
Yep.
So now you have the tools, right, to get high
Yes.
and because they taught you in school.
and on top of that, sex education.
Another one.
Like, oh, wait a minute. And then, dude, it's the most perfect form of, I would always say it, intelligence manipulation, trying to make people do what they want to do by telling them they can't do it.
Exactly.
What's that?
Everything's better when it's taboo.
What's that commercial back in the day where we're young and shit, and the father comes in? He's like, "What is this? What is this? Nothing." He's like, "How did you get this?" You. I learned it by watching you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who told you how to do this stuff?
You, Dad.
I learned it from watching you, Dad.
I love the way he took his headphones off. You all right? I learned about watching you. And then that narrator voice. Parents that do drugs have kids that do drugs.
Ugh.
But you know what? That's 100% true.
Guaranteed.
Because I'll tell you what, I grew up with the whole don't do what I do, do what I say.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Don't do what I do what I say. And that's just bullshit. That's a bunch of baloney. If you a perfect example is have kids. You have kids. You have 4 kids.
4 kids.
21, right? You already know. They see you how you do. I'm sure I can almost guarantee you your 21-year-old is probably a hardworking kid, doesn't give up.
My son has autism.
Okay, what about?
And he helps me around the house and stuff because I know he's gonna be with me forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a good kid and everything, but he doesn't do the stuff that out. You know, he's like, nope. He's like, I always tell him, you want a beer? No.
Yeah.
He knows.
So then for being out to see, he's already been able to capture that.
Mm.
You know, they see it, and now it's his choice as he's older to make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
Is he gonna go daddy's way? Is he gonna go his own way? Because he knows what daddy's way does, right? That's the same thing here. If you want to grow up and be an alcoholic, be someone that uses drugs, druggie, your kid is gonna grow up and make that decision on his own. If he's looking for a way out, guess what? Daddy taught him a way out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're gonna choose that route. But if he wants to go against the grain, then he's gonna go against what your daddy did. But what it comes down to, what I was trying to say is, it's not what I say, it's what I do. Kids mimic you. So whatever you do, that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, they mirror parents. I don't care what anyone says. They mirror the influence. Because I used to get frustrated. Sorry, I feel it's important for me to bring this up. I'm the oldest out of 2 sisters, and my parents would say, "Christopher, you got to be very careful because you're setting the example for your sisters."
Yeah.
Oh, and the invisible man is the example that's being set for me.
Yeah.
They were always good to point that out, but at the same time, my parents were my form of influence, and they didn't really understand that because they're good parents, hands down. Don't get me wrong, but I just felt that it was unfair that they were easily able to point their finger at me, at the same time not taking into consideration of what example they were leaving for me.
Right.
So, and then having said that, everything falls into place simply because that's just how we follow. We follow the leader, whoever, because that to a kid in their existence, their father and their mother are their everything.
Right.
So that's just one thing I got to point out, because it's very difficult to put these things into one answer when there's multiple facets of different situations, especially people that are born in single parent housing or no parent, being a foster kid.
Yeah.
So there's so many different levels, but
Right.
you guys are on some really good stuff right here, man.
No, and that's just one of the things I was saying is like it's not like for parents, like when you become a parent, you're not given a handbook. You have to learn from what your parents did, right? Where people around you, even if it's an uncle or even your grandparents. So you got to do the best that you can do with the experience that you've lived through, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things I was gonna ask you. Being so young and you had a kid, how are some of the things that you were able to or had to adapt? Did you follow through with some of the the teachings of your parents? Did they help you out around with that?
To me, like we were talking earlier, how to end the chapter to start a new chapter. So when my mom and my dad were together, they were very abusive. And at the time when I had my first,
to the kids or to themselves?
To themselves and also to me, I was mentally abused, emotionally abused, sexually abused, physically abused, and everything. So I didn't know. So maybe this is how it is to be a father? I'll do this to my kids. Yeah. So I had to stop all that because they were teaching me the wrong way, because I saw with your own eyes, how if we're raising our kids, they're going to see, if I saw what my dad and my mom are, I'm going to do that to my kids. Yeah. But I had to break a cycle. Right. So I had to do and show my love to my kids and everything and stuff like that. So it took time. Because my dad was a dick, my mom was she wore the pants and everything. And just things didn't work out. And, I was lost because I didn't, when I had my first son, I didn't know how to raise my son. Right. Because I was a breadwinner. I was working, and my baby mom at the time, my first wife, she was staying home, but she was neglecting our kid. Mm-hmm. So she was leaving our baby son at the house when she's going out partying. And my son was just like, what the fuck's going on? And I would leave work early to take care of her. Like, where you at? So there's two types of women who take care of their kids, and women who just open their legs. If you think about it, that's how it is. I'm being honest, but it's true. Yeah. There's women who want to take care of their kids, and there's women who don't want to take care of their kids. And to me, it's like when I had to take those 2 kids in because my ex-wife had a drug problem. So I had to go to court and take the kids away from her. You know, my son, my boys, and it's hard. It's really, really hard. But you know, I'm just taking it one day at a time. You know, and knowing the fact my son has autism, it's really hard.
Yeah.
You know, but my son's doing good and everything. And you know, my ex-wife, she got her life together again. She got married and she's drug free and everything. Now she's getting the picture. But I didn't want to bring my kids to her because she wasn't ready yet. She wasn't ready to, like, hey, I fucked up, you know, because there's a lot of people who are very stubborn and very prideful, but you have to swallow it. You have to realize, hey, you know what? I fucked up. It wasn't my intention. I was going through some shit. But a lot of people don't want to admit their guilt, you know?
Your ex-wife, did it ever go through your mind that she ran away? Because of the situation, having to deal with an autistic kid, like it's a little bit more responsibility than just.
Nah. So what happened was when
Or was it all drug influence?
I'll say it. So when we were together, it was already falling apart. So I was like, you know what, this is already over. I was already looking for someone, and I found someone. So when I found her, I moved in with her, and it broke her heart. Like, what the fuck happened? You know, my husband just left me to be with another girl.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's like it is what it is. But it's like there were so many times we saved it, but it wasn't meant to be. And you know, it's just she was very cold-hearted, you know, and she showed no affection and everything. So you know how we are, us men are. If we're with someone and that person's not making us happy, we're gonna go find it somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's just, I'm sorry to say, but it is what it is. Like, you know, people are gonna say, oh, we're cheaters. And I know if there's someone out there who's gonna make us happy,
Right?
And that's what I did, and she realized, and she fucked up, you know, and you know, she realized, and that's where she went to her drug problem because she was depressed that I was with someone else. Yeah.
But you can sit here and right now today though and say that you pointed out the problem.
Yeah.
To her, you tried to work it out.
Yeah.
Didn't work out. Stubborn.
We did.
So
we worked that like 4 or 5 times, but
it just wasn't the failed thing.
Yeah.
You found someone else. Someone made you happy. Boom, boom. Because one of the things I say is like, look, you pick the person. You try to work it out. There's sometimes that it's just people just don't. They look for that scapegoat or they look for excuses. You know, that's the worst thing. You look for excuses around.
There's always excuses
to move on and move forward because you made the wrong mistake. I mean, shit, it happens all the time, right? You buy something from Amazon, you don't like it, you want to return it. You put out an excuse, a different excuse, you return it. It's not that easy when it comes to relationships, especially when there's kids involved. God, you know, right?
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's extremely difficult. Just from my understanding and where I'm at currently, I got married to my wife. We've known each other for over 28 years. 28
God
years.
damn.
And it was very difficult. It was good because we knew each other from a long time. And what had happened was before we were getting married, her father passed away.
Yeah.
That put a damper because that father-daughter dance is everything to a girl.
Yeah.
Everything. And then after we got married, her grandmother, her father's mother, was dealing with cancer, and we were taking care of her. We're taking care of her with her aunt and some of her grandma's sisters, I believe. I could be wrong, but we were taking care of her. We literally were there to the end of her life.
Yeah.
And that did a number on her. And, you know, I'd rather share this diplomatically because I believe that there's a very good, deep, bold underlining. You know, drinking a lot, being verbally aggressive. But I knew that not to take it personal because I understand. And it was a sense of understanding where I had to break it off before it hit critical mass.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I said, you know what? I'd rather give you your space because right now there's a lot of anger, a lot of hate.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit here because if you poke and poke and poke and poke, I'm a human being. I don't want to snap. I've been known to snap in the past, and I don't want to have that happen. So I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to move out. I moved to Silver Lake for a little bit, and then couch surfed, and then moved over to the point where I'm at now.
Yeah.
And when her mom had a heart attack, that's when I kind of resurfaced and said, hey, you know what? It's beyond me and you. Let's take care of your mom. Let's understand. Let's do everything. Because, you know, everyone's different.
Right.
Everyone is able to find their own means of doing things. I don't have any kids, you know, at all, period. We don't have any kids. We have some dogs. And still right now we're talking, but we're not trying to go immediately back into the level of intimacy because we gotta earn that back.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very different. It's different, difficult, and not one answer could be the same for everybody. So that's why I always say that everyone specifically has to understand and find that answer or that resolve, because you got 5 different people going through the same problems, but not, like I said, you could have one couple come to a resolution or a solution, and you put that solution to couple number 2, it's not going to work.
Right. Couple
number 3, it's not going to work. So that's why the communication factor plays a very vital role in trying to find out exactly how both of you are going to overcome it.
Yeah.
And even if it's like you're separate, like, hey, me and my former wife are like, hey, if we're not going to get back together, I'm fine. I'm okay with just being friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you find someone that's going to uplift you, that's fine. As long as you're able to nullify the current problem and accept each other and continue to be friends, that's all that matters. But that's very difficult to do because there's various different levels of pride, various different levels.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm just fortunate that this is the current situation I'm at, where it could be worse, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough, dude. Like, to find that right medium, you know, to find that understanding where you can both mutually kind of walk away from something like that, especially after 28 years, you know.
That's a lot,
it's
man.
crazy. Yeah, but, you know, but again, they have that mutual respect for each other and they're able to do that, and that's understanding. That's awesome. For someone like yourself, that she just, you know, what you said, she just walked out and took off. Now you're left with 2 kids, right? You said 2 kids.
2 kids.
How were you able to manage to get by all this time with just having 2 kids? I mean,
it was hard, man. It was.
You had been making some big money, right?
I was drawing whatever I can, and I mean, you know, there was times they were little, like I had no one to watch, and my oldest had to watch him while I was working overnights, and he was only like what, 14, 13 at the time.
Yeah.
My son was little. There was times like, what am I to do? I had no family, but all my family's out of the States or Northern California, so it was only me.
Yeah.
So when I got kicked out, you know, and you know, we were talking earlier, you know, I was homeless for like months, you know, like what the fuck's going on?
Wow. Like literally had no, you were in from living out of your car.
So what happened was I was supposed to move to Modesto and things didn't work out. Then my mom said to me, you have no business here. We don't want you.
Wow.
I'm going to let all the family know not to have you and the kids in. My mom was a hypocrite, you know, and whatever. Things didn't work out. So I was like living in bathrooms, public storages where the rats would bite us, you know, living in my cars, a lot, shelters, just whatever where I can find a shelter or a room or whatsoever, until I saved up money. It's like, oh my God, I got my new apartment, and someone bid me over. And I was like, well, what the fuck am I going to do? It just kept on saving money.
Yeah.
And until I put out maybe 60, 70 application fees, 20, 40, 50 bucks here for apartments and all that, until one person calls me up, which I'm still there to this day.
Wow.
And say, yeah, when do you want to move in? I want to go move in right now. And I remember we were talking earlier, you know, I only had a box of cup of noodles, air mattresses, just a couple stuff here. And I was crying like a baby because I haven't had my own place since I was at the age of 22. And a lot of people doubted me.
How old were you when you got that apartment?
I want to say I was like, what, 35?
Wow.
35, 34, 35. Yeah, but last time I had my own place was like 21.
Shit.
You know, and it was a big, because it's expensive over here.
Right.
And I had nowhere else. And I feel like the thing I noticed is like no one gave a fuck about me if I died or not.
Yeah.
You know, my kids.
Well, your mom, I mean, I don't know. I've never met your mom. I don't know who she is. But have you guys hashed it out? Have you talked about why she was pushing you back and not receiving you? Because in the Latino culture, you taking your kids just like our kids were taking the older, you know.
She was
grandparents.
She was very hard, you know. And I saw that when he was, you know, she killed the relationship with my dad, you know, when they, you know, whatever. She's very prideful, very like dominant, very alpha, like for a woman. And you know, like she used to put me down. You know, she used to put her career first over me. It's like if things didn't happen, and then I felt like, you know, you choose your career over me. I get it, you know, I understand, but what about your grandkids? And the thing that pissed me off the most is like she would go around like, oh yeah, I love my grandkids, but we're out there, we're homeless. Yeah. We're trying to find food or this or whatever. Until one day I told her, say, you know, do me a favor. Say, what? All the pictures you have in your living room of us and me, I want you to take all that stuff down. And she's like, why? Because you don't deserve to be a grandmother. Because if you gave a fuck about me and the kids, you would give a fuck. Yeah. So I gather all the pictures, frames, and everything from her house. It's like I threw them away in the trash. You do not deserve to be my mother.
Wow.
So I don't see her as my mom anymore because I don't know her that. I don't know that person anymore.
Shit.
So I just consider her as her name
Wow.
and stuff. Even my dad too.
You still have a relationship with them? You just don't.
I know I don't.
You don't.
Not with my mom and my dad anymore. So I don't have a mom and a dad.
Shit.
So to me, I was like, it's okay because if I did, they're just gonna be dwelling or whatever. Because, my dad, he got remarried and I'm gonna be honest, my dad's a bitch.
Yeah.
He's a pussy whoop, dude. His wife now wears the pants.
Yeah.
So.
Where did MegaMan, where did he learn his shit? On the streets? Is that where you picked up? I mean, obviously you didn't learn any much from your parents. You didn't pick up anything,
I learned everything to my Uncle Manuel. He passed away a long time ago. He told me, like, MegaMan, you're shy, you're this, but you know what? You have to stick up for yourself.
Yeah.
You have to be like stick up because you can't have people just put you down. Stick up for yourself. And ever since then, that's forever been locked in. And rest in peace to my Uncle Manuel. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be the man how I am. And sometimes that's where thick skin comes into play.
Yeah.
So people who are gonna love you or hate you, or talk shit, you just kind of like the words don't hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, that's deep.
Epic.
Yeah. Well, why don't we take a quick little break right now, and then we'll get back on, and then we'll go from there. You guys want to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, cool. Let's take a break.
Cool.
For sure.
What's up, everybody? This is Fidel Talking Again podcast. Just want to let you guys all know to take advantage of today and tomorrow's discount code with Iconic Apparel. That discount code is TAP. TAP is discount code. Make sure you guys check out all the nice, fresh gear. Remember, don't be mediocre. Be iconic. Check out their stuff all over their website. It's iconicapparel.com. You could also check them out on Instagram at Iconic Apparel. We're out. Hey, you guys, we're back from the break. Had a little bit of a promotion that we had to do out there. You know how it goes, the podcast game.
And MegaMan got hot too.
Yeah, we got hot. As you can see, we have new beers out. We got warm and everything. But we just finished talking about some of the adversities that you kind of had to go overcome through, your having kids such a young age.
Yeah.
But what was your transition from all that, your work, your hustle? Everybody knows you. They know you work at Sprouts. You publicly say it out there.
Yeah.
Your grind, your hustle, transitioning all that to podcasting. How did that come about?
I did the podcast on accident because it all happened when Joe Rogan had George Perez on the podcast. And, Joe Rogan told George Perez, hey, you should do a podcast.
Yeah.
So I quickly subscribed after a couple weeks, and I was binging. I was putting on stories, going to comedy shows until one day George Perez DM'd me. He called. He's like, hey, man, I want you on my podcast for the 50th episode as the biggest fan because I've always been a fan, to him. He invited me on. I was kind of nervous. This is my first podcast I ever done. And a couple weeks later, comedian Martin Rizzo from Squad by the Bell. He's always on tour with Felipe Esparza and everything. Yeah. His lady DM'd me and told me, hey, my boyfriend wants you on the podcast, but he's coming back on tour. So I did his. He was the one I gave credit to because he, I did the podcast on Anchor.
Yeah.
So I started doing the podcast and everything, and it was like, man, I don't know what to do. I was doing it for 2 days. I just whatever. I put an intro and an episode 1 together. Then a week or two later, I was looking at a live with Felipe Esparza from the What's Up Food podcast. What the fuck is this beer, dude?
That's IPA talking right there.
Yeah, it's IPA talking. And he said, shouts to fucking MegaMan from the MegaMan's podcast. Follow him. And I had not exaggerating, over 100 messages. And I was like, oh, fuck. And that's when day one started with the pressures. Like, what are you all about? Yeah. What's your podcast about? So when I said to you I did the podcast on accident, I actually really did because I didn't want to do a podcast. Yeah. I didn't know what to do. I hear a podcast, but when you do a podcast, what do I do? What do I talk about? Because I was doing solos.
Right.
So I was doing all these stupid like rants and all that, and it just clicked on me. Like one day I was like, I don't want no one to know me as MegaMan. I want everyone to know me as Steven Martinez. So that's when I started doing the MegaMan's Live, talking about my journey, what I've been through from when I was little until now, of the struggles I've been through and everything. And that's when I gained all my followers and I got new followers, and that's where everything happened. And I remember a story of this podcast, of this guy. He's a huge fan. He was hearing the Yo 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 podcast with Martina Hooter, and he's like, you know, I'm gonna listen to MegaMan. And I didn't know the whole story, what happened with him, but he started listening to podcasts like MegaMan. I thought I was the only one and everything, and he said, like, you know, it was a good.
Did you guys feel that? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Sorry,
you,
I was Magneto.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, he did that with his mind.
Not only is he MegaMan, but he just dropped the garage door right now.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, the studio door.
The studio door. So he listened to the podcast and everything, and all of a sudden it's like, man, he DM'd me. He's like, man, we can relate. And it's like, I've been through the same shit, because he was like shedding light on a lot of things, and I didn't know at the time, you know, he was going through depression because he lost his wife from cancer. The next year his daughter died from a hit and run accident.
Yeah.
So he was alone, you know, and he started listening to the MegaMan's podcast, and he started hearing it. And, you know, now I talk to him now, and he's doing good. He got married, he has a kid now and everything. But, you know, like, podcasts save a lot of people's lives, you know. And I don't know what I did, but he listens to my podcast. He loves it, and he listens to this day. And, you know, it just whatever I put out, because I have to be honest, because Felipe, Martin, and a lot of people say, MegaMan, you got to be honest. If not, the people are going to know if you're real or not.
Yeah. You know, and it's funny you say that, because I told you right now earlier that I don't have that story of coming back from rock bottom. I don't have that story. If I've hit rock bottom, I don't know which one it was. You know what I mean? Like, I just I've had it. I'm not saying I've had a good life, but my parents have sheltered me from a lot of the, like, we used to live in El Monte, really bad area of El Monte.
Yeah.
And they moved us out. As soon as it got really bad over there, my parents were like, all right, we need to get these kids out of here. So they moved us out. They moved us out to West Covina, or Covina, actually. It was actually Covina. But they moved us out, and they wanted a better life for us, which they did. They gave us a better life. I'm thankful for that, you know, and everything. But they sheltered us from a lot of that realness of that goes on in the streets. You know, I mean, as far as like shit that's going on right now, racism, you know, like, they sheltered us from that. Even at the same time, they've exposed us to that from showing racism. Old school Mexicans, right? Showing you racism that you didn't really know until you get a little older and you figure it out. Like, oh shit,
correct.
Shit, my parents were a little racist, you know, like, fuck, you know. But that's just like that old school mentality. So I never had those things. I was just like a big fan of podcasting. I wanted a podcast. I wanted to talk to people. I wanted to ask. I wanted to listen to people's stories. I wanted to find out about what they're going through. That I don't have much to say for myself, but I want to hear about it. And I know that people out there need to hear about it.
Absolutely, it's an imperative form of education that needs to be not only implemented, but applied. It has to.
Yeah.
I always had that hunger, because it's like I hit rock bottom. If like I went to the lowest of the lowest. So to me, like, determination, hunger, never giving up, and I've been through all that stuff and everything. So that makes me more motivated. It's like, I've been through the thick and thins, you know, from the good times, the ugly times, and the bad times in the podcast or in my life. I know how to adjust and everything. So it gives me that fuel and that motivation to keep on going. And that's where the hunger comes into play, where I said to you earlier, and I said to Chris Drisco Kid, that by 2024, because I had a dream a couple months ago. I know this is kind of goofy, but when you keep on having dreams, it turns out to be like, oh my God, it's almost like deja vu.
Yeah.
And I had like 4 or 5 dreams that I was going to be on the Joe Rogan's podcast by 2024 or 2025. So what I've been doing is like, well, fuck, if I'm going to be on, well, it's game on, motherfucker. It's like, let's see what you got.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm doing other people's podcasts, doing this. You gotta sell yourself. Like your last episode, you had your boy Paul.
Yeah.
He was selling himself. Like, I got to get my name out there,
right.
And that's what you have to do. And there's a lot of podcasters. I don't want to say all, but just some that's like, whoa, my numbers are low like this. It's like, dude, you got to get out there.
Yeah. What are you doing for that? Though?
What are you
if you're
doing?
low, your numbers are low. What are you doing to get them high? Like they're just not gonna happen. It's not just gonna happen.
But when people complain about it, my numbers, like, don't talk about it, be about it. It's like, you know what? My numbers are low. It's, hey, I'll do it with some IG. I'll travel here. I travel there. And people are like, well, I do. And there's a lot of podcasters do overnights like me, but like, I'm too tired. Dude, I work 60 hours. I have my full time with my kids. I'm doing a full time podcast.
Yep.
So what the fuck is up?
Yeah. There's no excuses, dude. I joined.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've had on the show Mr. Olympia 626. Everybody knows him. Fernando Velasquez. This dude right here tells you that he's got people on. He's a fitness trainer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's got people on that come on and they go, oh, I got these excuses, right? Like I can't work out because of this job and this and that. He's got people on that work those 65 hours, 70-hour weeks. They got 3-4 kids on their own, single parent, and they still manage to work out and eat clean and eat healthy and lose the weight that they need to lose, get to their goal. It's not about stop making excuses. You know, it's about working hard and working. Yeah, you might work harder than the next guy, right? But that just makes it easier. It makes it better for you, or you're more humble for it,
Yeah.
right? But it's work. It's work that you got to put in. If you're not willing to put in the work, then why are you doing it?
Absolutely.
I don't want to be that shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
You know, like if I do the podcast and I have to push people, I might push people the wrong way in the podcast because they're not used to it. Because, you know, sometimes, you know, there's part-time podcasts, full-times or 9 to 5 is whatever. If I push them, like, hey, I love your episode. I like what you're doing. And we talked about this earlier. You know, you were on his podcast, but we'll mention, I push him, but he's too, I like his podcast. I like what he's about, but he's very 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, come on. You're so good. It was like, just, I can't do it.
Yeah.
You know, he has some potential, but he takes a break.
Yeah, and that's where I differ. Where I sometimes I even hesitate. We talked about the hashtags, right?
Yeah.
And I hesitate putting hashtag podcaster. Right, I know the flies are gonna be in here, bro. We have the windows open, or it's gonna get ugly in here.
Hell yeah.
But no, it's real. It's real.
That's real.
The hashtag podcaster. I have a problem posting that on some of my stuff. You know why? Because I don't consider myself a podcaster because I do this as a hobby. It's, for example, if you go fishing, you're not. I wouldn't say if you just go fishing as a hobby, you just have to go fishing every once in a while with your, take the kid out, go with your boys. You're not gonna call yourself a fisherman. You're just going fishing, right?
Correct.
So when I podcast, I'm just podcasting. I'm not a podcaster. You know what I mean?
Then hashtag
So
podcasting.
there's a difference, and right now I'm kind of in the middle, in the limbo of podcasting and podcaster, where I'm not sure if I want to go to the next level, because I know that next level is MegaMan status. I gotta work my ass off. I gotta go on to different people's podcasts.
Yeah.
And I just told you I don't think I'm an asset to your podcast because I may not have much to say. You know, I'm not 100% on anything.
We can make it work.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure we can.
guarantee.
We can make it like a 2-hour episode.
I talk a lot and I can bullshit. You know when teacher used to give you an essay report, I used to write an essay. I would just blah 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 blah, and it was like two pages, and she's like, I only asked for one. Well, she would just give me an A because it was 2 pages. But I would just talk all kinds of shit, right? Just
Yeah.
I can talk. But the thing is, it's one of those things where is this what I want? Is this what I want? And I don't know if it is, like I know that I have to pay the bills.
Yeah.
I know that I have to work my ass off and make sure that I pay the bills before I do the podcast. This is a hobby for me. But with that said, listening to your podcast and talk to you for the few couple weeks that I've talked to you since with Drisco's over here, which is live, I've kind of like changed that aspect of where, well, even if it's a hobby, let's go in full on this. Let's work a little harder than the next guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because even if I can just make enough money on it to pay for itself, you know what I mean? Like as far as merchandise, because it'd be cool to have people wearing your stuff out there. I printed out a few shirts that I got. Shout out to my buddy at A1 Printing and Hydra Clothing. He hooked it up.
Yes.
And I was able to get a few shirts. It'd be awesome for me to give shirts to anybody or everybody, or even sell them if I can. But am I willing to make take that next level?
Yep.
And that's what I was going to ask you is, what made you go to hey, I need to step up my level. I need to level up.
there's a lot of people, and I'll mention them because Martin Moreno talked to me, gave me advice. Beto Duran, Felipe, Joy Cocadillas is like, hey, Mega Man, just have fun. But the person who really changed everything on my podcast, and I had to step my game up, is like, shout outs to Edgar Beard Thug Life. He's like, he was very blunt and honest, and I was holding my tears. I remember to this day. It was like at a home brewer like party, and CYC. I remember. He's like, Mega Man, I like your podcast, but dude, you take off the half. You half-ass it too much.
Yeah.
You're not serious enough. You're not anxious, whatever. He said, what are you talking about? Like, and he showed me a podcast. This is what you should be doing, and this is what you should be hearing to this. So what I did is I listened to these podcasts like, oh, that totally makes sense. Yeah. I quickly adjusted it in 2 days.
Yeah. Nice.
And I was like, you know what? I wasn't mad about it, but you know what? It depends how you take it, the criticism.
Yeah.
And, we talked earlier about the rates and reviews. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. But, if they say it's just trash, whatever, I don't give a fuck. But it depends how you take it and how you're going to work at it to make the podcast better. If I have to, because back then I was very anxious, over talking this, whatever. So I have a binder at the house, and I write all my weaknesses. This is what I'm doing. 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 When I hear my podcast episode, I hear it about 10 times, because I'm a very perfectionist. So I look at the little things to make my podcast better, to not over talk or this or whatsoever. Ask good questions and this and all that to make the podcast better. And we always have to work on our weaknesses. Yeah. People who don't work on the weaknesses are not going to make it. Mm-hmm. But to me, it's like I had to swallow my pride, my stubbornness, whatever. And if it's for me to work on my weaknesses to make the podcast better, to get to the next level, fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny you said that, because the last 4 or 5 podcasts that I've put out, actually, I should start by saying even my last podcast that I had on, which was How We Talk Podcast, that one, I would never listen to the playback. Never, ever listen to a playback. Even after the rough draft, final draft, all that, never listen to playback. I was in here. Why would I listen to it again? Mm-hmm. Still to this day, I was like, when I started this podcast, Talking Again podcast, I still didn't listen to it. It wasn't until like 4 or 5 episodes where I was like, I need to start. Once I started editing them a little bit more, like more post production of it, mm-hmm. I'm like, all right, I need to start taking my notes. I need to start knowing when I'm chiming in, when I'm chiming out. Now I don't know if in the last 4 episodes that I've recorded if I've gotten any better or not, but I definitely have seen that mentally. I notice it more now.
Yeah. I hear your podcast, because your podcast, you're very mellow and you're very chill.
Yeah.
And when the episode that you did with the rapper, we're not gonna mention, but you put your foot down.
Yeah.
But when you have a guest on, they're not very uncomfortable. You have to make them comfortable, because you're putting your guest on the spot, but you have to ask those questions.
Yeah.
When a person tell me like, man, Mega Man, stop being a Charlemagne. Yeah. To me, when I talk about that, like, oh hell yeah, thank you, because he's very honest, and that's gonna boost numbers.
Yeah. Oh, the Charlemagne the God.
Yeah.
You know what? I like that dude.
Me too.
Because you know what? Like, he might
respect my name.
Yeah. Right. If you guys don't know, Google
classic.
Google that shit, because you're gonna have a fucking fun time with that.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I love it. But it's true, man. Like, you gotta put it's fuck all this bullshit. Okay. If you're gonna come on the show, be yourself. Mm-hmm. Because if I wanted a scripted show, I just watch it on ESPN.
Exactly.
Or watch it. Not to knock on ESPN, not to knock on them, but the format is more of like, all right, this is what it is, cookie cut, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm. It's very structural.
Very structural. I think this free form that we have in here with the podcasting, you're able to get a little greasy. You know what I mean? If it makes sense.
Get our hands dirty.
Yeah, get a little dirty.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Get a little people touch.
Hey, with COVID going around, there's no gloves over here, but fuck it.
Man, before me and my ex lady were working out, when this COVID happened, I was a little. I just want to say this, MegaMan's a retired hoe.
MegaMan is a retired hoe.
We did talk a little bit about the gigolo status earlier, but
Yeah,
he's a retired.
I'm a retired hoe, dude.
So no nasty DMs over here, but
No.
He's been recovered.
yeah,
Let's just say I had to put a girl who I was hooking up with as a restraining order.
yeah.
No, serious.
Did you really?
Restraining order.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, is this one of the Craigslist girls that you
No,
had?
this happened like a month ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because I wanted to work things out with my ex-lady.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, that's not going to happen. And she's left me all this psycho stuff and everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Saying I want to ruin you. And I was like, man, I tell you one thing. I told her, why? I just miss your dick.
Oh my god. Well, that's a good compliment though. It's a good compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It's
Yeah,
it's an ego boosting compliment.
Yeah, but it's like the pussy's bomb, but like, chill.
So you so the chick you're with now, right?
Yeah.
You guys were doing something before. You broke it off, maybe hooked up with somebody else, and then you're back with the chick.
So me and my ex-lady, we broke up like on December 25th.
Okay.
On Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And I was, like
It's a good time to
whatever.
break up.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I was
mean,
alone.
As far as archiving, it's a good time.
But a lot of the women I was dating were like, oh, you're single now? Oh, boom, 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 boom. And all of a sudden, I'm not gonna mention, but there are certain guests who I had on the podcast I kind of hooked up with.
Yeah.
And there's some women like celebrity in the comedy or this or whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like I know from the podcast and this, like I say to myself, I can't believe I'm fucking you.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my god.
Do you have any regrets on that, or do you like, nah, fuck it? I mean, it is what it is. That was me back then.
Because
so.
it makes it awkward because I had them as my guests.
So it is awkward.
It kind of is, but like it's professional.
Yeah.
But no one's gonna know because I won't mention. But it's weird, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I never knew, like, maybe they said, hey, MegaMan, I was attracted to you. It's like, how can you even fucking tell me?
Yeah.
Because at the time you were with your lady, but now you're not. So what's up? Let's hook up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's no regrets, no regrets.
Oh.
Yeah, and
there
that's
you
why,
go.
and that's why I don't bring up the past. If my ex, I love this guy, dude. So that's why I don't talk about my stuff like I've been through, because now I'm retired. So if my ex is like, hey, what about? Nah, I was talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that life no more. But I still get blown up with DMs of women like, hey, here's my number, naked pictures, pussies. I even have gay dudes like, hey, fuck me in the ass. Like, what the fuck is this, dude?
Yeah.
That's heavy, bro.
Dude,
That's heavy.
it
That's
is.
like being like, what?
Because gay guys are picky. You know that.
They're very picky.
Yeah, if they don't like you, okay, whatever. But if they like you, you're Rico Suave, dude.
Oh, hey, bro. Seriously, there's times where I'm out, and chilling, and they'll be like, they'll size me up.
Yeah.
Damn.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
Size you up.
I remember when I was like my stud, like when I was 4% body fat, and I was like, hey, and I knew there's a gay guy over there, but he's not checking me out. I got a little offended.
Yeah.
I did get a little offended.
Yeah.
He was checking you out?
No, because he wasn't checking me out.
Oh,
Bro, why aren't you looking at my way, dude? I got
Right.
I got a turtleneck on.
Right.
What's up, bro?
I got a.
you should tell the gay guy, hey, what's up? You don't like bears? What's up, dude?
Right.
You don't like the beard? I'll shave it.
No, bears.
Oh,
Bears.
beers.
No, bears.
Oh,
You know bears?
bears.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
beard.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
a beard.
yeah.
No,
Right.
bears are like husky, like big dudes that are very
Well,
They
hairy.
have
that was when I was in my shape.
overalls with no shirt on.
Yeah. I'm talking about when I was like 165 pounds,
Oh,
ripped, 4% body
shit.
fat.
Oh,
And I'm
you were a panther.
yeah, I was like, well, look at me, dude. But I guess I didn't get that. So your chick, she turned you into a housewife, bro.
Yeah, I cut it because we have a son and we work things out and everything. But we're taking it baby steps one day at a time.
Yeah.
But when I posted on my thing like, hey, ladies, I'm off limits.
Yeah.
I already saw my numbers went down quick. I lost about 100 or 200 like followers
Yeah.
in one day.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
And I already know who. And I was DMing him, like, hey, what happened? Hey, you post that shit, you're fucking taken. So I guess good luck.
Hold on.
I guess good luck.
I've heard of this, dude, with like influencers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Models, females. Never a dude though. Like I've heard it for girls, right? Like, oh yeah, for sure.
I ain't all that. I'm fucking ugly, dude.
Yeah, but you got it's with us guys, it's not about looks, bro. Well, we can't show off our dicks like chicks show off their cleavage.
I used to do that too.
Unless you're wearing like remember those OPs? Remember the OP
OPs?
OP
Yeah,
shorts?
yeah.
Unless you're wearing OP
Oh,
shorts.
Hey, so
Yeah. Vest, you wearing OP shorts.
Yep.
I got a pair in my drawer right now. But
Yeah.
I got the video game.
we'll save that for Palm Springs.
Guarantee Palm Springs. That's the Mecca right there. That's the Mecca. Trust me. Like, it was so funny. I was speaking about Palm Springs. So I was over there with my former wife, and I'm like, hey, man, these guys are really nice.
Yeah.
They're buying me beers.
Yeah.
And all the while, Linda's just like, Chris, just go, relax, have a good time.
Yeah.
I know who you are. Just go. Just relax. Chill. Just enjoy the evening.
Right.
And all the while, guys just like, yeah, man, hey, how's it going? Just, rubbing my back. I'm like, hey, man, you know what? Thank you, man. I'm going to buy you guys a drink.
Yeah.
And I was just chilling. They were very respectful.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really dope because they asked me, are you straight? I said, yeah, I'm straight.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden, the demeanor was like, oh, okay, cool. You know what? I'm glad everything's fine. I'm like, what's going on? So, dude, we're all gay. I'm like, hey, man, I have no problem.
Yeah.
Chill, man. I'll buy you beers. Like, hey, man, relax. You guys are chill, being good people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, well, you're okay with that? I'm like, dude, you're human. If you were a paramedic and I was dying, and I depend on you to resuscitate my life.
Yeah.
Resuscitate my life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think in the directions of the negative because people need to realize humanity depends on humanity.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. 100%.
People need to realize that.
Yeah.
People don't know.
And you know what? Here's the problem: is that lately it seems like there's it's not. Lately, it's like
a huge step back.
We step back many steps back.
I'm telling you, man. Well, I was talking to Zaire Black on my live podcast last night, and I told him, I go, you know what? My podcast, I'm not here to entertain ignorance. I'm here to educate it. And I was talking about having your sense of discernmentship be cultured, because you have to understand, like, there are certain ways and walks of life. And if you really look at it, everything in and of itself is a basis of understanding humor. There's humor in everything.
Yeah.
And if we are able to remove those underpinnings and understand the hidden underlining that everyone is a human being living life. There was a lot of things that I had to learn that I'm just like, okay, well, I believe that that's oppressing, but if they want to be called a certain way, that's fine. But we have to look at the programming behind it. Who was the initiative? Who was the initiator that started that?
Yeah.
Because remember, there's deeper aspects out there that project these titles. But who created the titles? Did the people create the titles, or was there someone else that
Cardinal rule, man. Phone, you gotta have it on silent.
It was.
I heard that last episode.
No, it was the backup for the warning. 2-minute warning.
Don't be lying.
And I know you put the time limit, but we can't. When you podcasting, man, you just forget
can't.
about the time.
Yeah,
Fuck the time.
You don't deal with
You're in a good flow, dude.
Yeah,
I'm down to go to OT.
If you go 2 hours, you go 2 hours. Fuck it,
it, I'm down, dude.
Hey, let them deal with that shit. They not us.
Right.
We did our part.
All right.
Which was fun.
I don't need Dr. Phil. This is my Dr. Phil right here, dude.
No, but you're right, man. You're right. 100%. 100%, dude. It's just different the way the way that it's all being handled right now.
I have a lot of friends right now that I'm cool with, talking to. I know that there's a lot of various different people that are very angered. We have to understand what's their fuel source. What's the fuel source? There's people that I know that are jumping on because they back up as a form of brotherhood, which is important.
Right. I
have a lot of friends that are in law enforcement that are really, really cool people that give a lot to the community. Officer Keith Boyer from the Whittier PD, he was the one that took me to juvenile hall. I did 8.5 months.
Yeah.
God damn.
And he really was the one that really helped me out. And just for the record, I'm going to go ahead and say it. He got me a freaking In-N-Out hamburger. He said, dude, Chris, you're going away for a while. So you want a burger? I go, yes. He said, just step in the front seat. Like, if you're a ride along, man, we'll get a burger. But immediately after, because, it was really cool.
What'd you go in for? Well, if you don't mind me asking.
Grand theft persons.
What does that mean?
It's I stole something from...
You kidnapped somebody?
No.
Grand Theft Auto.
No, not auto. It was grand theft persons. It was something that was of high value, over $8,000, and they've. Can this be continued on another?
He tried to get those 5 stars.
we could.
He's like, I want the FBI and the army to come get me.
I'm waiting for the National Guard, fool.
He was that guy humping the girl in the back seat of the car.
We could definitely put a bookmark on it.
Yeah, for sure. But it was good. I'm just glad I had all my reality checks given to me, spoon-fed by the system.
Yeah.
When I was a youngster.
Yeah.
And then now it's just a very different game. It's something that I feel is important for me to help elevate the young generation. This young generation right now is dealing with a lot of stuff and slingshotting back. The generation that we're dealing with right now is the majority is that they're born either single parent household.
Yeah.
No parents at all.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of guidance that's being subtracted.
Mm-hmm.
There's guidance that needs to be implemented, and that absence of that guidance is bringing us to this state of chaos. It's chaotic in nature, but there's people that are there that are leaders. I'm not talking about leaders in one person for another, but there's people that have a sense of leadership, and they're the ones that are saying, hey, you know what? You have anger in this department, just relax. Understand there's more to life than this.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot of people in the community. There's so many people that I know that were out there protesting and everything. Me at my age, I agree with it, but I can't physically put myself out there.
Right.
Because I know I could get hurt.
Yeah.
And when I fall hard.
Dang.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just difficult, man. I just want to just share that because I believe it's important that through this transition now, after everything's unfolded, if we're not consistent, everything that we've done and fought for will just crumble and fall apart again.
Yeah.
So that's why I hope that everything's consistent.
It was really difficult, dude, because when you go back and when you take that angle and that aspect, you know, you're looking for some young kid that's confused and doesn't know what to do. It's hard for you to put yourself into their situation, and it's hard for you to put yourself in front of them so that they can listen to you what you're trying to, talking them off the ledge, so to speak. So when it comes down to it, it's at home. You know, you got to do the education at home. So why okay, Fidel, Talking Again podcast, why aren't you posting anything? Why aren't you for the movement? And you know, I'm doing my education at home because I know I can control that. I can beat this drum all day long on my podcast. Excuse me, on my podcast, but I can't force you to do it. Okay, but now I know that we talked about it earlier. My influences is at home, right? These kids are gonna see what I do, and then they're gonna live by it, grow with it.
Absolutely.
And it's not gonna be in a weekend. It's not gonna be in 2 weeks. It's not gonna be on a quarantine 2-week thing. You know, 14 days. No. It's just a matter of years. You know, you got to do it at home. You got to teach the kids at home. You can only affect the people that you have at home. You can't affect everyone else. So, I mean, yeah, you can be out there and try to be the advocate, but guess what? When you're out there trying to be the advocate, who's not listening is at home. It's at home. And the argument on that is, well, those people at home don't have it. And they're going to go seek it. And they're going to go seek some kind of guidance. And if they get the wrong one, which most of them are getting the wrong guidance, whatever seems high, nice, they're going to go to that. It's easier. It's easier to do. And they're going to, and that's why you see the protesting with malice. The protesting with malice. That's the bad part. Hey, protesting, dude, by all means, do it. All right?
But do it the right way.
The right way.
Not like looting shit.
That's malice. That's where it's like, okay, how can I take advantage of it? Now, the same thing that you're protesting about is the system taking advantage of you. You're doing the same thing, but you're protesting, you're taking advantage of the system, and you're taking advantage of the situation. There's a protest going on, now you're taking advantage of it, and you're going to loot. I
smell Antifa.
Yeah, well,
hey, that's a whole nother podcast. That's a whole nother episode. We can do that episode too, but now we're not going to get into it.
Yeah,
those are what I call the parasitic protesters.
Yeah,
they're eclipsing the very principle of why these people are protesting.
Yeah,
with another form of action that's diverting the observer that's at home.
Yeah,
eating microwave popcorn, having a Sprite.
Right.
Just got done jerking off. Wanted to watch something entertaining.
Oh, I miss those days.
Oh, I miss those days.
I miss those days.
But I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
that kind of eclipsing it defeats the purpose.
Right.
And that's why they're still continuing to do it. because they can't pay people to freaking loot or anything like that because it costs money,
Right.
and they're not doing it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, we got to really stick through this because right now we're letting people know that we don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of stuff that are now it's going to be different. The new normal is like, hey, these sports guys are not going to get paid millions of dollars anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. You know what? Let's give them a little bit of taste of reality.
Sorry, Beto.
No, but I'm being honest.
Two.
I'm being honest. I'm being honest.
Right. No, you're right.
Sports is going to be different. And I'm glad it's going to be different because that money needs to go to places where it counts.
Yeah.
Education, living, sustainable living. Like everything's upside down.
Yeah.
Everything's upside down big time. And it's upside down for a reason because I'm going to press pause on there because
Heck with that, you got my vote. Mayor Christopher Robbins for West Covina. Sorry, Victor from Mayor Lodge, you fucked up. I want to vote for this guy.
You know,
wow.
I actually reached out to somebody that knows Victor, and I was like, "Hey, man, see if he wants to do the podcast." You know why? Because I think that people know they have an image of your mayor, right, in your city, and they see what the mayor allows you to see. But I'm like, I want to get in the background. I want to know behind. Victor's a good example, dude. That
You
dude.
wanna talk about,
You want to talk a little bit about Victor? Tell me what you know about Victor.
Victor is the owner of Aero Lodge. I heard him on the podcast with Beto Duran with Mo Crapper Kings. He wants to run for mayor. He wants to run this motherfucker at West Covina. He makes the bomb beers. He dresses nice. He has the pimp chains with the Nike ass shoes, Air Jordans. Always up to date with the sunglasses.
Yeah.
That's just almost like Pussy Magna right there, dude.
Yeah. Well, actually, Victor is the mayor of Covina. He actually got voted in. He is the mayor of Covina. Yes, sir. He is.
I'm gonna Google that shit.
He is the mayor of Covina, not West Covina, but Covina.
Oh, I was typing West Covina.
No, city of Covina.
What?
West Covina. The mayor of West Covina is Tony Wu. You can look
Tony
it up.
Wu.
Tony Wu.
That's
So-
two O's?
W-U.
Yeah.
W-U. But the mayor of Covina is Victor. His last name blanks. I'm blanked with the last name, but he was owner of Aero Lodge. Yes. So I wanted to get to know what the owner of
why
Covina.
not? Yeah.
Let's behind the scenes.
Heck
Let's
yeah. We
But-
got to know our leaders.
Exactly. So I think transparency is big, dude.
It's imperative.
Transparency, especially now more than ever, is the biggest thing ever. You have to be transparent 100% because why? It's all that shit's available online.
Motherfucker, he's right there, dude.
I told you, dude. He didn't-
Buzz, motherfucker, Jesus. Wearing a fucking pin? Oh, hell no.
He traded in the Nikes for some dress shoes, bro.
Wow.
God damn. This
Snakeskin shoes.
Yeah.
he's going to get so much pussy.
Listen, it's bigger than that, guys. He has an opportunity to make a difference. To
Yes,
make a change.
absolutely.
You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Absolutely.
So having someone like that is optimistic. To me, God, I'm losing my voice. It means that we're able to get that point of view. It's a different point of view. He's not that old school mentality guy. He's a dude that you grew up with.
I need him on my podcast.
You gotta hit him up.
Oh, fuck, dude. I know him too.
Yeah.
I thought he was running. I thought he didn't got
Man,
elected.
he made it, dude. He's
Hey,
elected.
hey,
He's a
do you have a
mayor.
chubby right now? You have a chubby? I feel you have a chubby.
He's
right
got a chubs, bro.
You have a chubs?
I
You have a
felt it
chubs?
on my knee.
You have chubs? Yeah, a little chub.
He has a fat dick. He has a what do you mean with chubs?
Like a
Yeah,
little,
chubs is boner, bro.
Yeah.
Boner.
I have a boner too.
Right?
But at these,
You know what?
I these rhino pills.
I was
I
going.
know my friend.
I was going to make this episode, for kids, but it's not.
This is
No,
NC-17, dude.
Yeah.
Mature audiences
Yeah,
only.
it's not for kids.
NC-17.
Yeah, for sure.
It's about the numbers, doc.
But you know what? Dude, mayor of Covina, but here's the thing, dude. Here's important. He's got an opportunity to make a difference, right? He's able to bring in that younger perspective, and dude, I mean, I don't know the history about it, but he may be the youngest mayor of Covina. I mean, he's a young dude.
Wow.
He may be the youngest mayor of Covina. You may have to fact check. If you guys want to do that, you can go ahead and fact check me. What's the last name? You just looked him up. Victor.
I just know him as Victor. I just call him Victor Aero Lodge.
He has him on his contacts as Victor Aero Lodge. So if you guys want to do Victor Aero Lodge, Google. But It's actually Linares. So if you guys looked up Mayor Victor Linares of Covina, you could check him out. Give him a shout out. But he's got an opportunity right now to make a difference, dude.
Good,
It's
man.
Covina is not a big city, but it's a powerful, impactful city. Like
Homie, stop trimming your eyebrows. Don't stop cutting that shit. Like you got beat up or something.
Leave him alone, man. Leave him alone.
I love him. I love him.
That's his style, dude. That's his
I
style.
know. Fuck.
But
man.
you know, I grew up in Covina. You know, I moved to West Covina, but my heart is still in Covina.
You know, when I think of West Covina, I think about that movie with Martin Lawrence called Blue Streak.
Oh yeah,
With a diamond. That's why like, what department? Well, I work for West Covina.
That's right.
Please. That's why I know about West Covina.
That's right.
You know, like Friday, like Rancho Cucamonga. You think about that?
Yeah.
That's how I think about West Covina.
The Rancho Cucamonga cracker killers.
That's what I think. That's what I think of when I think of Martin Lawrence.
Yeah.
The West Covina.
My
police
crazy
department.
ex-girlfriend, shot in West Covina.
That's right. It is started in West Covina.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a TV
Crazy
show.
girlfriend?
My
Crazy Ex.
ex-girlfriend.
Isn't it like a ABC? Like a
It's on
How-
Netflix.
Netflix? Oh.
How crazy was she?
Very crazy.
Crazy?
Mhm.
Like she used to stalk your room?
So crazy. She put a rubber band around my bones.
Oh my.
Have you ever had an ex-girlfriend try to shoot you in the head from a gun?
No.
I have.
I'm glad you're still here.
Yeah.
Hey,
And-
is it crazier than your involvement with that beer club that you had going on? I remember watching. I used to follow this beer club. Okay, we'll go unnamed right now.
Yeah.
But I used to follow this beer club, and I'm like, dude, this is good content. And then I just recently found out that most of it was yours, right?
It was mine. Because there was people who's like, oh yeah, that's theirs, but this is mine.
Yeah.
Because what the story was, I wanted to put 50 episodes of the best breweries, whatever and
that's
stuff
cool.
like that and
Yeah.
everything. Because I wanted to get to know the craft beer scene and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And like I said, things didn't work out with them, thanks to the president. But you know what? I left the thing, and I have a lot of friends who are in that club still. Shouts to my boy Beer Thug Life. He's still doing this. He's over there.
Cool.
But now I have a new club who I'm with called SGV Cancer, called San Gabriel Valley Cancer.
SGV Can Share.
Yes.
All one word?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you can find them on Instagram?
Yeah, you can find Instagram, Drew, and everything. Yeah.
Sure.
So we go to breweries, we have socialized and everything, but also we always help out the community.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I wanted to help out. If people need clothes here or this or whatsoever.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. How do you help out the community? Everybody says, oh, I'm going to help out the community. But how do you guys help out the community?
So Drew gives us, he goes on Zoom or he does it online and everything. Hey, does anyone have this or whatever? Like if it comes to clothes, we need clothes for people who don't have clothes in Mexico. We donate whatever.
Nice, yeah.
And just whatever we do to help out the community and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's not about beer chugging and stuff like that. It's almost like community, but we're socializing, drinking beers at the same time,
Yeah.
but we're a community. And that's what I wanted and stuff like that.
Is most of it, a lot of the stuff that you guys do, is it mostly local, or do you guys do a lot of the Mexico stuff like Tijuana and all that?
It goes up to the president. So what's going on in Mexico, whatever's going on here, whenever we're all going to be there to contribute and do whatever we can to, shed light or also, take part or help out.
Is it a Latino-based club, or you guys welcome
It's all
anybody?
mixture.
Oh,
It's all mixtures.
okay.
It's all everything and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. I feel more comfortable. It's like a family and stuff like that. So I met a lot of the people, and then some of the guests I had on the MegaMan's podcast, they're from the SGV Can Share.
Mm.
I think I had like 4, maybe 7 guests on my MegaMan's podcast, and they're from the SGV Can Share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I know that you've mentioned it before in your podcast, especially the most recent ones, is that there's a Latino movement going on with the podcasting. Talk a little bit about that. That's something that when I listen, I'm intrigued, because just like I said in the story, is that obviously I'm Latino,
Yes.
born from a Mexican family. They were born in Mexico. I was born here in the United States. I've distanced myself from the culture.
Yeah.
Some of it, obviously, growing up here in West Covina or the city of Covina. So I kind of distanced myself from it, where I had to kind of relearn the language, and not only the language but the culture. Like obviously with quinceañeras, the baptisms, all that stuff like that. But as far as like the culture and the history of it, like I believe, especially talking to you, is that I have to go back and relearn everything again.
And you know what? I was the same way, because I'm Mexican. I'm Chicano. I was born here in America, not from Mexico. And I don't know Spanish. My mom, I was telling you earlier, my mom was racist. Like, hey, how come you don't teach me how to speak Spanish? well, you're not from Mexico. You're not a fucking wetbag.
Yeah.
You know, and you live here. You're
Terrible.
Chicano, you're a Chicano American and stuff like that. So whatever. So I want to learn Mexico. I want to learn my culture and this. You don't need that. You live in America.
Yeah.
You're not Mexico. We're citizens here.
Mm-hmm.
So that mentality of Northern California that's very, the Mexicans over there, it could be diverse, but in the Central Valley, the Mexican people are trying to be more whitewashed Mexicans.
Yeah.
And they're embarrassed because, you know, I'm embarrassed to be Mexican because of this or whatsoever. So, you know, with me, I want to learn my culture and everything. So everything happened when I was invited on the Chicano Shuffle with Ramon and the guys. And Ramon was trying to put out this movement. It's like, hey, us Chicano Americans or Latinos or whatsoever, we can't have our voices be silent. We got to spread out the love, whatever. And because of him, because I was more diverse, I was more like, I don't know, I don't want to talk about being Mexican and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So because of Chicano Shuffle, and all of a sudden I started listening to this podcast called Pura Cultura's podcast. Mm-hmm. They're from Minnesota. Shouts to Lazy and Smiley. They're the reasons why I opened up to be, man, you know what? I'm kind of be proud to be Mexican.
Yeah.
And they bring that pro-Mexican. They bring that love and everything. Like, hey, you know, and you know, a lot of Mexicans, the old school mentality, like if something bothers you, to shut up and just ignore it and deal with it, whatever.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So with us now, the new generation, that we're speaking up now and everything, we have to show our voices and everything. Now we're making a movement, but there's a lot of good Latino podcasts. It could be from sports. It could be from political stuff. It could be from activists. It could be from community here in West Covina. It could be anything and all that. Yeah. So we wanted to do whatever we can to shed light on a lot of Latinos podcasts to make a movement, not only here in the West Coast, but over the United States, but over the world, to have our voices be heard, you know, and stuff like that. Because you know, when this shit happened with the riots with Minnesota, but I was looking at this documentary with the 1992 riots on Netflix and stuff, where it talks about the blacks and the Mexicans couldn't get along and shit like that. There was a picture I posted up a while back. I mean, it was a long time ago, but I saw it. A Mexican and a black person together, and it must have been like the 1800s, whatever. But they were. You saw that, right?
Yep.
What'd you think about that?
Brilliant. I thought it was brilliant.
But it made sense, right? Like, we shouldn't be racist against each other.
No, because that has to... Okay, if you don't mind just sharing
Go for it.
Racism is taught. You're not born with it.
Exactly.
You're not born with it. It's a pre-programming system. And it's in our education. It's subliminally conveyed.
Right.
And we need to understand that they're powerful people. Come from the lineage of King Solomon. Mm-hmm. You know, there's so much lineage in there. Richness, you know, it's just, there's just so much. That's a cradle of life. Africa, guaranteed.
Yeah.
You got everything going there. And, you know, there's a lot of stuff I could say, but for the most part, their suppression is programmed. It's programmed, and they're powerful people. They need to understand that it's the programming that caused all this has gotten so far into them that they fight each other, just exactly as us do with our own race.
Right.
You know, Mexicans going against each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's how deep the programming has gotten. We need to get out of that, and we need to understand that we, as a people, we are humanity.
Yeah.
You know, and it's deep. I understand a lot of people might disagree with that, but like I said, I'm not here to entertain ignorance.
A lot of the blacks came from, when they came from Africa, they came from 3 different states.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico, Cuba, and Jamaica. And they spread out to, you know, the United States and all that stuff and everything and stuff like that. So, you know, like I have a lot of cousins who are half Mexican, half black. So I don't see that discrimination. But when I see some of my friends or this, whatever, like, you should be talking to them because why? Oh, because they're half black. Like, no, that's our family. That's our blood, whatever.
Right.
And because, you know, I live in Long Beach and our city is more diverse with blacks, Asians, Mexicans, whites, and everything. Mm-hmm. And we're not prejudiced, you know, and I can't see myself like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just, I don't know why people have to be racist
the unfortunate part of it is that you're not prejudiced. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that in your city, that you're going to have people that are. Mm-hmm. You know, just like right here in Covina and West Covina, like we have Covina and West Covina. We had a pretty damn mellow protest.
Or like that video with that white lady say, "Hey, go back to America," when that lady slapped her.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like shit like that.
Yeah.
She wasn't Mexican. She was Native American.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is that? Like, why would you do that for?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you think everyone's gonna be big. Like, we're supposed to be unified. We're supposed to be there for each other, not putting each other down.
The problem is that we keep putting titles on it, and then I know that you have to be proud of who you come or where you come from. Be proud of it, but don't stop grouping yourself. Okay, don't group yourself, because when you group yourself, that's when you make that mistake of putting that title, and then you get the me versus you kind of thing, right?
That slingshots back to the programming.
Yeah,
it slingshots back to the programming. If you really look at it, it goes down like you're a 49er fan. I'm a Seattle fan.
Yeah.
Does that cause tension?
No.
To other people, it
Right.
will. No, but to other people, it will.
Yes.
You know, because competitive sports is a step
To
forward.
Richard Sherman.
To be determined. But I'm just saying.
No. He said Richard Sherman.
Oh.
Oh, he's a Niners now. Oh, he's a Niners.
No.
You got to remember, this is 2 versus 1, but it's okay.
Oh, no. Hey, I respect that. See how humorous? So we see.
But we're
implementing humor.
I
That's
get you.
where
That's
the
a
difference.
perfect example of what you're talking about.
But there's other people out there that will have zero tolerance for this humor.
Correct.
No. Boom this, boom that. That's all it is to it. Dodger fans being very violent with San Francisco fans. Is there a need?
No.
They're implementing their
We
gangster
don't need
mentality.
that.
Listen,
But
yeah.
they're implementing their gangster mentality,
Yes.
and they're taking it like if they're a rival gang,
Yeah.
because it's part of the programming.
Right.
This is programming. I don't care what anyone says. It's a form of intelligence manipulation, and it's doing its daviest to really get us out of control.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been seeing it, but those who have a trained eye to note those discrepancies, they'll be like, "Hey, you know what? This is not cool."
Yeah.
But there's those who don't because they don't have that connection, and that lack of connection could really cost us this wave of awareness and the wave of trying to release everything from this and not continue it anymore.
So to be clear, the lack of connection that you're talking about is a connection to humanity. And
Absolutely.
Not so much, and not a racial thing. It's humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're all humans.
And I think the number one thing that's causing this is the majority of people having the lack of traveling to another country, being filled like a foreigner in a different country, not speaking their language, not eating their normal food of a hot dog and a hamburger,
Yeah.
eggs and bacon, hash browns. Oh, you don't have ketchup and mustard? You know what I mean? Like ignorance can kill the mind.
Yeah.
It's not allowing any progression for growth.
And then, so you have a 100%, you have a good point on that. Now, you don't have to necessarily travel far for that, because you can go to Torrance, you can go to Long Beach, you can go to LA, downtown LA, and get the same experience that you would get if you were to go to Japan or China or Thailand.
Yes. Cheap man's travel. If you can't go to Japan, go to Little Tokyo. If you can't go to Korea, go to Koreatown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
go and enjoy and make yourself in an uncomfortable position.
Go with an open mind to learn and experience that moment, not just, I had bad service. That's their type of service. This is what I hate about Yelp. We talked about Yelp
Yes,
before many
Yelp
times.
don't help.
Yelp don't help. I said what was it, that hashtag that I tried to do? Get the Yelp out of here.
Get the Yelp out of here.
Yelp out of
Oh,
here.
I got a Yelp story. Want to hear it?
Yeah, we'll hear it after. No. Let me make my quick little point. It's
Okay.
a small little point.
Go for it.
So it's all it is this. Stop criticizing. Go over there with an open mind.
Mm-hmm.
Go try the food, get the experience of what they're offering to you, and then take
Yep.
it as it is. If you don't like that experience, then go to fucking TGI Fridays. Go to BJ's. They're gonna give you the the grade A, what you want.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want authentic food, go where there's authenticity, and some people's cultures are different than everybody else's. They don't pay the 108% A plus per to customer service, right?
Mm-hmm.
Attention to customer service. They just give you what you want, which is good food.
Yep.
I don't know. That's my opinion on it. But your Yelp experience.
Oh yeah, so I went to get my teeth done and everything, and there was a girl I hooked up with, and the dentist they fucked my teeth up and everything, and I left a bad review, And the girl hooked up with, we say, hey, come over to my house right now and shit like that. We hooked up. And say, hey, since we had sex, can you do me a favor? So what? You think you can change your review on your Yelp because my manager, my manager doesn't like. I'm not, swear to God, my manager didn't like that. So he told me to come talk to you, and this is where we're at right now.
Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
I'm not kidding with you. And we hooked up, and she was like, "You think you can change it?" And I was like, "What do you want me to put? Like, say something good because he's well known, and that comment that you left, it was really bad. Like, hello, motherfucker, like." He fucked my teeth up. He didn't do this and this and this. Yeah. And he said, well, my dad said, if you come back, he'll do it for free.
What the fuck?
So I went to Yelp and shit, and we hooked up. We fucked. She sucked my dick, doggy style, whatever. And I left a good review, and he got my teeth for free. He fixed everything, and that's it. I left a comment.
Hell? So you mean that's all I need to do to get my teeth fixed? This is crazy, bro. So that means that
this is some gangster shit.
This is some gangster shit. That chick came over there just to solicit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did I say it right?
Solicit.
Yeah. Solicit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these that are involved already. Solicit for her employer. Mm-hmm. That's what she did.
The owner told her to go talk to me.
Yeah.
Oh.
So she persuaded me.
Talk to you means like
talk to me.
Mount on the
yeah, fuck. You know,
mouth
like
on
everything.
The drain.
And she's like, do me a favor, since I fucked you, like, hey, change your review.
Yeah.
And I did, and you can see it too. I was like, but hey, I gotta do what I can do for pussy.
Did you feel dirty after that or no?
No, but the pussy was loose. I didn't feel dirty. It was whacked. It smelled like fucking it smelled like dead fish.
You don't gotta get too personal here.
I'm sorry.
But you can.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
But I put it back how it was anyway. It's like the pussy was.
You
whack.
left it the way it was.
Yeah. I just put whack.
Yeah. That's crazy though. Just to hear that though, that like people think that. I mean, none of us here are business owners. Like we have a brick and mortar that we need Yelp to depend on. Mm-hmm. But I've had some people on here that have told me that the Yelp is like a gangster, bro. Like
it's bureaucratic.
Yeah. We've talked about it. You know many people that go through that shit. They gangster that shit. Dude.
They have the power to close the doors of a hard-earned family business. Crazy. And those of you who are Yelp elites, I respect you, but at the same time, if you complain arbitrarily without the understanding of craftsmanship, the hard work of a family, and you don't own a business, and you're a brat, and all you are is just doing it for food and anything like that, and your intentions are not honorable, don't Yelp anymore. Just bow out. Just bow out and don't be a part of it.
Fuck.
Hey, as ruthless as that sounds, it's the truth.
It 100%,
dude.
100%. I invaded a Yelp Elite event.
Yeah. And
I heard some dabby shit.
Yeah.
I heard that, oh, yeah, hey, the owner of Lucille's Barbecue, Dick's Barbecue is opening up over in Brea. And they even said that if we just go ahead and bash him, that he'll just comp our meals, comp this. And then I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
That's crazy.
It's bureaucratic.
Yeah.
And even if I make a brick and mortar or anything, the Yelp will have the capability of creating your own Yelp without your consent to do it. That's illegal. That is illegal. I'd rather put a ballot on that, where it's illegal for Yelp to put your business without your consent.
That's BS.
Seriously, it's evil. It's evil.
Shit.
Just to tie all this around back to podcasting as we close out the show here.
Yeah.
Because you've been in the game a lot longer than with us. You've been more infused into it with us. Mm-hmm. I know Drisco's doing his own thing. He's going to transition to his, and he'll do his, and I'm doing mine. What are some of the crazy ass shit that you've had to deal with behind the scenes in podcasting game as far as those haters, like kind of like the Yelp thing where you have to, like we've talked about YouTube,
that's easy.
Holding you back.
Fucking divas.
Yeah.
You know, they care about like, hey, if you don't do this, I can't be affiliated with you because I care about my numbers and this, whatever. You know, the divas, you know, like, hey, let's not talk about this or whatsoever. Mm. You know, like, they're just giving me, they're testing me, making me like aggravated, saying stupid shit. They're not serious, whatever. It's just a lot of things, you know, like, you know, if you don't, you don't make this podcast good, if you don't talk about this, I'm never gonna get your next 5 guests on your podcast.
Yeah.
Where they sabotage.
Trying to hold you
this.
ransom for that shit.
Exactly, ransom. You know, like, hey, if you don't do this,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna give you so and so on the podcast.
Yeah,
It's like, what the fuck you doing, dude?
Yeah.
Like, I just want to have a podcast interview, and that's where we talked about never meet your heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw who they are, and it's like, okay, hey, this is what we're gonna talk about. Boom, boom, boom. And they're just so used to, like, hey, MegaMan, don't you want my autograph? Don't you want my picture? Like, no. They because it's like, because that's an ego fuck right there. But that's kind of weird, and they're like kind of out of it.
Yeah.
Because they so used to having a picture of me taken, like, oh my god, look at MegaMan's a fat boy. It's like, I'm not like that no more. And I have you on my podcast. It's like, I just see you as a person.
Yeah.
So it kind of fucks their mind over.
Do you think that changed from you having a podcast? Like, if you didn't have the podcast, would you still ask for an autograph or a picture?
Oh yeah.
100%.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
I know. I've come across that when I was younger. Before I had the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
where I would sit next to soccer player Luis Hernandez, El Matador, from the Mexican national team.
Nice.
Damn.
And I wouldn't say a damn word to him.
Is that Chucho?
Chucho? No, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't say anything to him because I didn't want to create a scene. I don't want to make a big scene for him.
Professional.
Because he was in Pasadena just hanging out, Cheesecake Factory, wanted to have a drink with somebody or whatever it was. But we were all waiting in the lobby. It was raining. We couldn't be outside. So I didn't want to make a big stink about it. So I was just like, I just went I looked at him, gave him the head nod, and then he just gave me the head nod.
He knew what's up.
He knew what's up. He knew that I knew who he was, but I didn't want to make the big stink, because to me, this is what happened. This is what it was for me with Oscar De La Hoya. All right, and I've had many boxers and many boxing fans and affiliates here on the podcast, but it was Oscar De La Hoya that I went. I was at Edwards here, West Covina Theaters at the Edwards Cinema.
Oh yeah.
Right
So I was there. I was inside the restroom, and then people were just yelling, "Oscar's here! Oscar's here!" And I'm like, "Who the fuck, Oscar?" And then they're like, "De La Hoya," and I'm like, "Oh shit!" So I went and grabbed a couple, napkins from the, I was in the bathroom. I didn't have anything, and I had a white shirt and napkins, and that's who signed my shirt and my napkin.
You still have it?
So the shirt I gave to a chick that I was there trying to hook up with.
Why is this? It's always like I give myself to a chick, dude. I give my ring or something. It's always a chick,
It was,
dude.
97.
Hell no.
He was high. She was good. I was nice. I gave her
Was
the
she
shirt.
white Mexican?
She was Latina. Yeah.
Okay.
I gave her the shirt.
I don't know. For some reason, I have a thing for like Mexican and white girls.
Really?
Mexican, like mixtures.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
a mixture of it.
Yeah, or like I used to have a thing for Asian women.
Yeah.
Until that whole myth, like fucking snatch of pussies, like nah. No, you have to earn that shit,
Yeah.
dude. You have to like spend $1,000 to get the fucking pussy. It's like might as well just get a fucking hooker.
No. Anytime you have to spend money for I mean, there's a way. I don't know. Again, I've been in the game. I've been out of the game a long
You pay
time.
for a hooker.
99.
No.
I have.
No. What is the difference between a hooker and a girlfriend?
What is it?
Ooh, a hooker and a girlfriend.
I don't even want to guess.
Honestly,
What is it?
she shut the fuck up. She's
You're
silent.
gonna burn yourself for now. You better be quiet.
Cynthia, I love you, but you know what? It's all good.
Go ahead. What is it? What's the difference?
You pay the hooker to leave.
There you go. There it is.
That's shout out to you, Grandpa. Rest in peace.
Is that Grandpa's knowledge right there?
Yeah, my grandpa's knowledge is
Yeah.
pretty sick.
But check her phone first because you don't want to get blackmailed.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, you guys, like Oscar was like for me was like, oh, cool to get an autograph, but it wasn't nothing. He signed 40, 50 different autographs that night. And that was just one. That was like 20 minutes that he signed autographs. So it's like, why am I going to be asking for an autograph? After that, I don't ask for autographs anymore. For what? You know what I mean? Like, if my kid wants an autograph, I'll take my kid because it's cool. It's special for a kid. For a child,
book signing, stuff
to
like
do a player signing or whatever, cool. But now, if I ever see anybody, if I ever meet any of my heroes, like me, if I ever meet a hero of mine, I'm just going to say what's up to him, give him the knowledge, hey, the head nod, and then let's move on away.
All right, Beto. That's number 3.
That's my hero, bro. That was my hero growing up. Like, now I don't know the person, right? I know the guy that I heard on the radio, and dude, the guy that I heard on the radio, this is the guy that motivated me. Like, hey, you know what? If I can be on this fucking thing, you can do the same fucking thing. So I did it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start doing the podcast. Fuck that shit. And then I could do it too. That guy motivated me to do it.
Absolutely.
So. They say not to meet your heroes. I met him a couple times. You know what I mean? Like,
too.
I met him and hey, what's up? How you doing? But hey, it doesn't mean I have to break bread with that person. You know what I mean?
True.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you got to remember what you fell in love with, and what I fell in love with him on the radio and what he does. And I get that expression. Don't meet your heroes. I get it, dude. I totally do. I totally get it. But that goes for anybody. Anybody you meet, dude. How many people do you meet every single day that you think that you're meeting that person? You're meeting the representative. You're meeting the person that they're allowing you to meet.
Yeah.
Once you get to know the person, that's when it fucking
Maybe
matters.
a day like
Right.
60 or 90 times, you know?
Whatever it is, however
Yeah.
many days. It could
Yeah.
sometimes it's 2 weeks and you'll find out who they really are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep.
So don't just go off of a one time that you met that
No.
person.
No.
Or who especially who you fucking meet on TV. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that's what you see on TV. So I get the expression, okay? Just like the expression fake it till you make it. A lot of people, even yourself, you hate that expression. The way I treat that expression, just like the Bible, everybody reads the Bible a certain way, right? It's the way that you interpret it.
Correct.
The way that I interpret that expression is you got to put the time. You got to put the work into it. So you got to
Yeah,
fake it. You
absolutely.
got to fake it and fake it and fake it until you become an expert. That's the way that I perceive to interpret that expression.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I don't know.
It's pretty deep.
It is deep.
As deep as it's going to get over here on this
Fuck
Talking Again
it, dude.
podcast.
Fuck, it was deep. I was like, well, you got to fake it till you make it. Like, well, fuck, dude.
I get it, dude. It's just the way that you think, the way that you see it, Like, you can say that this can is blue right here, but it's just the way that if I can explain it to you, you're going to see it as it's yellow. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's just the way that I explain it to you, the way that you see it, That's just the way that life is.
That's a trip. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I'm not high, guys. I'm not high.
No, not at all. Neither are we.
No, man, I'm hungry for some tacos, dude. But
Let's go get these tacos. Hey, you know what? This is Fidel Talking Again podcast. That's Drisco co-hosting today at the special episode.
Thank you.
This is Steven, a.k.a. MegaMan
Man,
of
look at that.
MegaMan Podcast. Do you want to sign off with anything? Anything you want to plug? Maybe where can people find you now?
you can find me on Instagram at the MegaMan's podcast, my personal page at MegaMan6980. Just put out the episode 153 with Frank Blanco from No Father No Problem. I just want to say thank you for letting me, let me come on your podcast.
Yeah.
Drisco Kid right here, Christopher Robbins podcast. Poo.
No poo with Christopher
No
Robbins.
poo. Yeah, it's on right now, and I just want to give a shout out to my kids, Gavin, Alex, Emiliano, my daughter Luna. Daddy loves you. Yeah, that's about it. And just shouts to Buruka Duda's podcast,
Yep.
and everything. And ladies, stop sending me naked pictures. And guys, what the fuck with the butt cheeks? Like, no pictures with that. But that's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you
Just to
guys
wrap it up.
seriously for
Yeah.
having me. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Chris, man.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys, again, this is Fidel. That's Drisco Kid over there. Steven in the middle. This is Talking Again podcast. We're out.
Later, guys.
Have a good day.
Hell yeah.
All right. Another episode of Talking Again podcast is in the books. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date. If you enjoyed the show, please tell your friends and family so you can share the experience. Now, it's time to close out the tap.